Dreams are really weird. They just never really make all that much sense, but the few times they do, it can lead to some very great ideas. For example, would you believe me if I told you that Super Mario 64 actually came to Shigeru Miyamoto in a dream? It didn't, but just completely made that up. But doesn't it sound believable? Dreams allow the mind to think of more creative scenarios than it could while it was awake. Alright, so where am I going with this? Well, a few days ago, or rather a week ago at this point, I had a really weird dream. I dreamt that I was playing TF2 and I got to play a super new Halloween game mode that was an open beta so that people could playtest it. One of the Valve devs was also physically present, yes, in the game, it's a dream, don't ask, to look over everything. I'd like to think it was Jill, because that's something he'd do in my opinion. Anyway, while dreaming, I actually thought that the game mode was so immensely stupid that it really was only something Valve could come up with. Because only they would implement something stupid like bumper cars, Smash Bros, bonus duck races. And after I woke up and thought more about it, I realized that, yeah, this could actually work as a game mode. Not perfectly, of course, but it's a Halloween game mode, so who really cares about if it plays perfectly fine? Alright, I will now attempt to describe the game mode in detail, and at the end you can leave a comment if you'd actually like to play it or not. Okay, here we go. It's Battle Royale, don't you dare click the dislike button, hear me out first. Alright, I know it sounds really bad and all, but really, do listen. It's Battle Royale, and the closest thing to that in TF2 would be Arena. So once everyone in one team is dead, the other team wins, easy. But instead of spawning in their respective spawn rooms though, both teams start out in front of each other in the middle of the map, to allow everyone to see where every player is going to go. Alright, here's the fun part. At the beginning, everyone is in bumper cars, to make it even and so that they can't attack each other immediately, aside from maybe bumping into each other perhaps. A countdown then ticks down and afterwards everyone can leave. Imagine the Dance of Fate on Ghost Fort. Maybe everyone even dances. Why not? It's Halloween. Every player is then stuck to their cars for something like 30 seconds or until they pick up an item. Now obviously they couldn't pick up actual weapons like in something like PUBG. I could be boring and say that everyone starts off with 0 ammo and they have to gradually pick up ammo for the weapons, but there's no fun in that. So instead, players could pick up the manpower runes. It would be really funny if there were some joke power-ups too, like one that coats the enemy in Girardi or one that lowers your gravity or something. Aside from that, players could also pick up spells. Nothing special about them, except that picking them up while you're in a bumper car would give you different results. For example, the boxing glove spell from Doomsday event. The players then fight each other until everyone in one team has been eliminated. Alright, big problem though. What about campers? How do we prevent people from just staying in one spot the entire game? Have a big electric wall close in? Nah, that's boring. Instead, why not just spawn in Halloween bosses that are invincible? So at first, only the Skeleton King would roam around the map, and after a certain time, the Headless Horseman would make an appearance, then Monoculus, and if enough time has passed, maybe also Merasmus. This would definitely prevent people from hiding, especially considering how relentless the Haunted House guy is. Perhaps, and if people are actually being really resilient, maybe they'll start losing HP periodically, like going into the underworld. Someone has to die, even if it means I'll have to go in there myself. This also means that capturing the control point as an alternative to killing everyone is not possible or even necessary though. Anyway, the biggest issue in my opinion is probably the map. Having a giant map would probably be disastrous because TF2 is, how do I say it nicely, absolutely atrocious at handling larger player numbers. So we couldn't have a really huge map with a ton of players, but it'd have to be large enough for the game to actually be fun. Most of the arena maps in the game sadly don't fit into that category though. My top pick for a map would probably be either Sweden or Sawmill. Sweden because it has enough verticality and also bottomless pits. The sniper sidelines are a bit extreme however. Sawmill would likely be better though because there's more cover, more different passageways compared to Sweden, there's also water and the layout is even somewhat asymmetrical, though unintentional. And look, there's already a Halloween variant, though that one would have to be changed somewhat to fit what I described. But hey, maybe there's an even better map. Do you guys know one? I'm fairly certain there's one I'm missing. And no, not Sexton Hale maps, because while they are big, a lot of them are also incredibly ugly and way too simplistic. The problem is just that it can't be too big, but it still needs to be able to have 24 players in at once without being too chaotic. Well, in any way, one could also just reduce player count like how Valve did it with Arena Buyer. So anyway, what do you guys think? Good idea? Bad idea? I personally would love to see it in action somehow. It shouldn't even be too difficult to implement considering everything is already available. One could also implement this in offline bot matches using simple console commands. Not me though, because I'm lazy and I just started a job and I don't really have very much time anymore, so I would have done it, but I can't. I'm sorry guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Personally, while I think Battle Royale games are too oversaturated now and many developers force them in the games just to stay relevant, paladins, I think it's weird and silly enough to be a perfectly valid Halloween game mode for a TF2. And Valve, if you're interested in it, just hit me up and we can talk some more about it. If you want, you can hire me or something. Well, that concludes this honestly very weird video. And like I said, I recently started a new job and I'm getting used to having actually do stuff aside from YouTube and gaming again, so please bear with me. I also got sick lately, so that's why this video only releases now and not like a week ago, because I was so hoarse I couldn't talk. I sounded like a pretty wild at the time. It was awful. Seriously, you don't want to hear that. I also have more videos planned in the future, however, so watch out for those. But before I leave, I want to thank my patrons, as always, namely Alexis Chavez, if I pronounce it correctly. If I don't, I'm sorry. Clayton Yanero, Lasses Heubjerg, Storrent, Zachary Leclerc, and as always, Xenomite. Thank you very much for your support, it really means a lot. And also thank you, dear viewers, man, that is a very cheesy line. If you want to support me too, you can do it via Patreon, subscribe, like the video, or just watch my stuff in general. All of those options are perfectly fine and I appreciate every effort. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, have a wonderful day, and Happy Halloween! No, it's not Halloween yet, I'm sorry, goodbye.